Happy Monday! Hi guys, my name is Christian and I'm with Undique, and today we are live again telling you the news from our quail farm, our farm network, show you the latest and greatest products, and actually do a little crash course on hatching quail eggs as well. I brought a guest product. Everything you see today is made in the US except me. But even my dog Hazel, which come in a little later in the dog treat section, is also made in the US. Yes, she's a Pennsylvanian resident. But let's get started. And if you want to follow along, tune in, get the beverage of your choice. We're going to be online for about an hour. If you have any questions, please pop them down below in the chat. Don't forget to leave a like or follow. So let's get started. How did I get started here on the quail farm? It was simple with quail eggs, right? And so obviously we offer them fresh to your doorstep. If you have never seen quail eggs before, here you go. Those are those little gems. Much smaller than a chicken egg, about a third of the size, but way more nutrient dense. There is about, in a single quail egg is about 10% of your daily value of B12, vitamin B12 in there. There's a ton of minerals and other vitamins in there, like zinc, vitamin D. There's antioxidants in there, make your skin look great. I just realized my green screen there colors my green eyes black, but I hope that's fine with you. But yeah, anyway, coming back to the product. One of our main products here on the farm, of course, is the fresh quail eggs, but we do much more with quail. And we also make things here on the farm, little accessoires. If you want to read more about the fresh quail eggs and want to have them fresh from our farm, we pick them every day, and then we never ship out eggs older than 48 hours. If you want to get them fresh, click on the product below and check them out. And then you have them for the next weekend ready for breakfast. And if you want to have a cool breakfast presentation, who is not into tiny eating nowadays? I see it all over social media. Here's our little quail egg, a little spoon, there you go, with a quail egg scissor, boom, there you go. You can eat with our quail egg cups, your fresh quail eggs. You soft boil them for about 2-3 minutes depending where you are, and there you go, you got your fresh breakfast served. We have them in 3 colors, by the way, in white, black and blue. I'll show you the black one here with the blue egg. Hope that comes out better on the camera. Looks a bit weird on this camera. Let me switch over to Hazel cam and show you there. So here we are. Looks a bit better on this camera, doesn't it? Yeah. The light is not the best. Well, I'm a farmer and not a TV producer. I hope you forgive me for the video quality. So, anyway. So those fresh quail eggs come to you. But let me tell you the story how it all started here 5 years ago. In November, it's going to be 5 years that Undique is around. About 4 years since we have the network. And somebody's getting curious here. Hi, my dear. Yes, I know I mentioned your name, but it's not your turn yet. Huh, Hazel? I know. Hazel likes fresh quail eggs, by the way, as well. And we got them for your pets, too. But let me tell you how it all started. So, initially, I wanted to get chicken. I was raising chickens back over in Ireland. And over there, I really liked to raise the chickens. However, I lost them due to a mink. And then they escaped. And then there was a fox. Long story short, when I came here to the US 10 years ago, and then my wife and I bought this property, I said to her, I would love to have my fresh eggs again. But I was worried about the hawk, the fox, all those predators. And my wife said, what about quail? And I was like, yeah, what about it? So I did a research, and I always suggest to do research before you get into any new hobby, or in my case it turned out to be my new job, right? Used to be an IT guy. Always do a little research, and a little disclaimer: if kids are watching, do not order without the permission of your parents, because those things are non-refundable. Those are fresh products. Once you order them, we ship them and you get them delivered. There is no a return on them, right? They're fresh eggs from the farm. But if you want to have some fun today, you can keep count if I crack some eggs today or not, because it happened. before in live streams that I damaged them. Hazel, if you could be so kind and go to your position back there, because it's not your time yet, honey. Okay? Hazel will come back because she knows when we go live. Yeah, you're a little tired? Yeah, she knows when we go live there is pet treats, so they come a bit later in the show because quail are very versatile animals. But how it started here, it started with a carton, a dozen of fertile quail eggs, and I hatched them out. I put them in the incubator New Year's Eve. That was in 2019. Oh God, time flies, doesn't it? And let me show you how that worked with the incubator and all that stuff. I promised you guys in the last live stream that I'm gonna show you an incubator. I brought an incubator today. It's actually a great brand. It's I don't get any referral money or anything, but I want to show them because this is how I started out, and it's still out there. Great product. So let me show you guys. So it started that I ordered my incubator online, right? That's the first step. And there's a lot of different variations, but I like this one because it's made in the US. It's a company, the incubator is called Little Giant. Company is called Miller. Like that name. And yeah, let me show you on Hazel Cam because it looks like an alien ship here on this camera. So let me switch over there because it's a big device. It's a even though it's still a desktop kind of incubator, but it's a big device. What is missing right now is here the power cable, but it's a digital one, so it shows you here the temperature on the screen. You have only 3 buttons, so you can't do much wrong here. That's really cool. You have a set button up and down. That's to basically adjust the temperature. What I always recommend when you get an incubator, get that first, hook it up at home, and if you have, use one of those thermostats here as well. Throw that in there on the egg level. You don't see that right now. Let me show you. You put that in on the egg level. I put some little plastic chicks in there and plastic eggs just for demonstration purposes. I don't want to break real eggs. And yeah, put it in there, close it, and let it run for a day or two and check on the thermostat down there on egg level if you actually see the same temperature then on top, or you might have to adjust it. But what is important is that the temperature, whoops, daisy. Yeah, this is how you clean and dismantle it. One of those days. But actually that leads me to it. I mean, it's a simple design, but what I like about it, you can clean and dismantle it very simple and put it back together, which is really nice. A lot of teachers use the styrofoam ones because if you do projects like in your classroom to show kids how quail eggs, or like how birds are born, how birds are hatching, it's nice to have a device which is styrofoam like this one. It keeps the temperature well. It's nice to have these big windows which you just see. You can easily remove them to clean them when things get a little dirty after hatching. There's gonna be tiny little feathers everywhere, so it's easy to clean. And as Hazel demonstrates, you should look for a place for your incubator where there's no pets getting at them, right? No cat, no dog. That's important. What happened in my little involuntary dismantling here is those plugs here. You see those red plugs? They came out, and that's okay. That's supposed to be in or out because there's 2 ways of how you can hatch quail. There is the dry hatch and a wet hatch. The dry hatch, you basically use the humidity in the environment you're in. Let's take a look here. In my basement here where I have my office, I have right now 73 Fahrenheit. Oh, it's pretty hot. It must be the studio lights. And I have a 65% humidity. So the humidity is a bit high right now because when you hatch, you want to be between 50 to 65. No, it's actually not too bad, not too bad. And you raise the humidity a little bit towards the end. So actually right now it's a little high for the start, but if I would leave it in there for a while, close the top, the humidity would go down. If I only leave one air hole open there, or both, you can kind of tune that in as you want. And yeah, so those factors are important. So number one, steady surfaces, that you don't throw your incubator somewhere. Let me switch over here again. Steady surface away from pets or kids who are curious and open them all the time, because once you close them, you should not open it too often. And what else we need? We need a little mat inside. I'll show you what I got there. This is one of those what you normally put in the kitchen drawer, that your stuff is not moving around. That's important later once those little chicks here start hatching, and that they don't have a slippery surface. That's not good for their legs, right? We want to protect them. So that's how I started. I bought one of those incubators. There is automatic turners for them as well, that you don't have to turn the eggs manually, because that's important. You want to mimic the hen's behavior in nature. The hen is actually turning the eggs a few times a day, right? So an automatic turner would do that. This is not the. This is a kind of a still air incubator. I mean, it has a little vent in there, but it's not like one of those professional ones. Maybe if you're interested, let me know in the comments if I should show you a professional incubator as well, where we put in a couple of hundred of eggs. This is even though still little giant did a great job. We call it giant because it's, yeah, I mean, you can fit a ton of eggs in there. I think about 100 eggs, jumbo size, perfectly fit in this incubator. So it is a giant. If you have the egg turner in, it might be a little lower, but if you click on the product below, you see all the descriptions and all the extras what you can get. But you can get out with incubator. They cost anything between $50 to $100. Depends, are they American made, are they shipped in? There's some quality differences, right? So I like this one. What you see here as well, there is sensors, right, for the temperature and display. There's a controller inside for the heating element here. It's easy to clean. As you saw, I dismantled it really quickly. So this is how it starts. You get your incubator, then you come back to Undique and you get your fertile quail eggs. Let me place that little machine over there. I come back to you in a second. You get your eggs. You can start off with just a dozen of eggs, or to try out, right, if it's your first time. Or you get 2 dozen, just in case. This shipped fresh from our farm, as I mentioned, never older than 48 hours, right? And what makes the eggs fertile? It's simple. When we think about birds and quails and all that good stuff, I mean, a female bird lays an egg regardless if there's a rooster around or not, right? That's just nature. A quail is actually a very sufficient egg layer. They lay pretty much every day an egg, let's say 300 eggs a year, right? I know they're smaller, but if you keep a couple of them, that they are not lonely, it's called a covey or a flock, right? If you keep a couple of them around, they're gonna be happy, and it's the same effort cleaning and looking after 5 quail than 15 quail, right? 15 eggs, well, that's breakfast for 2 people every day. There you go, right? If you have a rooster or 2 in there too, right? So you start off getting the fertile quail eggs from us. They ship to your doorstep. You let them settle a little bit, especially in the winter time. If it's much colder outside than inside, you wanna let them settle and let them come to room temperature first before you place them in the incubator. In the incubator, since you have tested it already, you have a temperature of 99.5 Fahrenheit. And it's similar to our body temperature, right? And humidity around 50%, 45%, and towards the end it can be 65 like we saw now. That's fine. And then, so in the winter time, if the egg gets a little cold and you put it straight in the hot incubator, if it's humid in there, then water might form on the eggs. If water penetrates the eggshells, it could introduce bacteria, and that would be not good for the results that the baby comes out of them, right? So we want to let it settle, and then some people say 24 hours. Yeah, in the winter when it was really cold outside, I would recommend that. In the summertime, it does not really matter because it's about, or even now in the fall, right? Because it's about the same temperature outside than inside, right? The incubator, I mean, right? So then you don't need to let it settle that much. You just throw them in straight away and off you go. And the incubation period for quail eggs is between 16 to 21 days. Sometimes some hatch on day 22, some quail hatch on day 16, some hatch on day 18. It depends a bit on the settings of your incubator, and it's a natural process, right? That's pretty interesting. So if you're a parent out there, or a grandparent, or a great aunt, if you have some kids around, it's a great project to do with kids as well, to teach them how does the birdie, how does it work with the birdie and the egg, right? If you ever wonder what came first, the chicken or the egg, it was the quail. We domesticated quail 4,000 years ago, and about 3,000 years ago we domesticated the chicken. So quail have been around for a long time. They're native to the US, by the way. You got the Georgia giant quail, which has the tiniest eggs but the biggest birds. You got the California quail. You got so many variations of quail. We ship the Coturnix quail, or common Coturnix called as well. People call them also Japanese Coturnix. Japanese, yeah, so they're over there as well. They're in Africa. They're all over the place, right? Okay, so you got your eggs, you got your incubator, they're in there, and people do candle them as well. Candling means you put a really strong light at the egg, you look, and it's hard to do if you're a beginner, and I recommend you take a pen or something, and if you think you don't see anything developing in there, I recommend to candle at around day 10 of incubation, because after day 15, once they're in there for 15 days, you want to lock it down, meaning you don't turn the eggs anymore, and you do not open the incubator at all anymore. The best is not to overmanage this thing with the temperature and humidity, and just let nature do its thing. But it's important that the incubator is tuned in the beginning, because you don't want to boil them, right? And you don't want to have that the incubator is too cold and nothing develops in there. So that's the most common mistakes in the beginning when somebody's new to hatching birds like chicken, duck, quail in our case, right? It's important that you tune that in a little bit and bring a little patience. Patience is important. So the first 18 days or so, it's gonna be boring. But then once the chick starts hatching there, you're gonna see them running around. It's awesome. So this incubator again, I'm happy. It's reliable. It's great for small batches. We use them here on the farm still for educational programs, and I recommend them for you guys at home. Get them. It's a good investment. If you only do that project once, pass it around, give it to friends. They have a good resale value as well. So, and if you are, if you have a homestead, if you have a farm, then think about it. This is essential equipment for anybody who wants to raise birds and have their own supply of eggs. Right now, if you look at the supermarket, the eggs for chicken, the prices there for chicken eggs, yeah, they're okay again. I mean, it could be cheaper, but okay. If you looked earlier this year, limited how much you can buy. Don't like that. And the prices, oh boy, I was so happy to have those little champs at home. And yeah, as I mentioned, with this, with these scissors, if you order fresh eggs from us, boom, you cut them open to your liking, how many you need, and off you go. So now your quail are in the incubator, and if you get into quail, the color variations are awesome. So we have, for example, this black and white edition of quail hatching eggs. And it doesn't mean that the eggs are black or white. it means the resulting birds out of it are nearly completely white or nearly completely black. So it's the genetics there. You can get really nitty gritty with the quail genetics. I'm not a huge expert on that, but thankfully I'm not colorblind, so I can tell the difference between a black and a white bird. That's already a good start for me. So then, what else you need? You need housing for your birds. So you could have a little aviary, like I use a greenhouse style aviary for them on the outside. You can have awesome cages. I've showed some in previous broadcasts, so go back a couple of weeks. Or look around, search. There is a lot of options out there. I like to use the Chimuka system there. So quail, they are pretty good flyers, right? So they can fly a couple of 100 feet, and they don't have this homing instinct like chicken have, that they would come back for food or whatever. No. If you let them free range, that's great because they will be free for sure until a predator gets them. So free range for quail, it's not an option, but you can keep them in a natural setting in an aviary where they're enclosed, protected from their natural predators. You can have them in cages. You could have them in a little shed in the back of your garden, in a garage. I know of people who have quail in their living room because they raise button quail. Button quail are little smaller birds. We have those eggs in our store as well, but they also lay smaller eggs. I show you the comparison. Normal egg, button egg. Yep, they are really small, but they have their purpose too. Then quail are really easy to keep. Then you need food for them, right? I show you a food supplement, but you need normal game bird food for them. And this is a supplement that's developed by a farmer as well in Alabama, ShowPro. That's the presentation package. The actual we shipped is 10 pounds. This is 2 pounds, but ShowPro is a supplement for making the birds extra healthy and making them extra look great. If you're in a 4-H, or if you want to show off your bird in a bird show, in a virtual bird show or in an actual bird show, then I recommend you the ShowPro. The supplement makes your bird looking really great. So that's the blend for the champions. If you click below, you find out more about that product. It was made by Kerry, who is a farmer. He has quail and chicken, and he wanted to feed the best stuff to his quail. So you need normal food. You could think about a supplement, because here's extra calcium in there as well, extra protein. The little chick's gonna need a little more protein to grow. A little similar to us humans in a way, right? If you're growing, you need a bit different food than when you're an adult. Speaking of food, so since I use the Hatching Time Chimuka cage system for the brooder, that's the next step after the incubator. The quail move into a brooder. What is a brooder? It can be as simple as a box where you put a heat source on it. I recommend heat plates over heat lamps, because heat lamps, even this lamp, what you see there, they emit heat, right? And in the case of a lamp, it gets really hot there, and if the lamp falls down or touches plastic or anything like that, it could be a fire hazard. So the heat plates are much better, because the chicks, when they come out of the incubator for the first 2 weeks in the so-called brooder or a brooding box, they want to have the same heat and in the same temperature than in the incubator, which is 99.5 Fahrenheit. Often the main cause of chicks not surviving after hatching is that they get too cold, or that they drown in the water. That's the next thing they need. They need a waterer, and they need a feeder. I have developed this feeder here, which does not allow the quail to crawl into it and poop into it. The feed comes out in the front. It's a little DIY project, because I 3D printed them, but they fit perfect into the cage system I'm using. But you get two of them, so you can just zip tie them together, because if you have a couple of birds, you don't want to fill up the food, all the time. So you place them like that in your brooder and fill them up. They hold 11 ounces. They're much better than those cheap red or green ones where the quail crawl into it, they poop into it, they mess around. So much better system, and it's a little DIY project for you to get the filament out there and to adjust it to your needs in regards to the food flow. But yeah, feeder is important, so you get the game bird grow out starter. It's called chick starter in the store, which is usually around 30% protein, or you use our supplement there and mix that in to a lower protein mix. Now you have a feeder, you have food, you have water, and you have a heat source. That's all they need. They need to have it comfy warm, water, food, and that all the time. Now, those lovely birds, once they grow a little older and they are in their cages, they might get a little bit bored. I have noticed that with my birds as well. I want that they're a little entertained, and the thing is, I use specifically plastic cages from Hatching Time, and those little beaks here from the bird, they need something hard to pack on, because similar than, if you think about your pet, it grows, right, like your fingernails. But if they have something hard to pack on, the peak doesn't get that long. If you build your own cage out of wood, they would pack against that, that's fine. But if you want your quail to have a little bit entertainment and enrichment and some treats, on my quail farm I started to raise mealworms. With the mealworms, that's extra protein. We talked about that already. Protein is important for the birds, also for the birds who start laying. So I developed something which helps the quail with their peaks, and they get some treats, and I get to use my mealworms, right? And so the quail knödel was born, or the quail feeder ball. Why knödel? I'm from Austria originally. I used to help my mother and my grandmother to make little dumplings. Knödel is the Austrian word for dumpling, and it is like a dumpling. Comes with a little string attached, so you can easily mount that in your cage, and the birds will be happy because they see the mealworms here on it. Yeah, the camera shows them okay. On the product picture below you see them a little bit better. You can use them also for wild birds, of course. Game bird feed, wild bird feed is more or less the same. Birds, chicken love them too. Birds in general, they like little insects and things like that. So here you go with the quail knödel here, with the quail feeder ball. You hang it in. Your bird has a bit entertainment, something to peck at for the peak, not to get too long, and extra enrichment in regards to protein, nutrition. If they break it eventually, it will happen that they break it in two parts. It stays on the floor, they can peck on that there. And then you just remove the string. Once they're done with it, it might take them a while, because they like to peck there every once in a while, and that's it. And then they go to their normal feed again, right? It's not as a replacement for your food, it's in addition. It's a little enrichment. I saw my quail, they looked a little bit bored in there, and I said, hey guys, I need to use my mealworms. And I tell you another thing about it. Hazel is coming now. Yeah, Hazel, I know. I don't know if you see that here, but it smells so good. Let me adjust the camera here. Right, Hazel? Smells awesome. I did not know that until I started to make them. Mealworm, we roast that a little bit to give it this consistency. If you roast mealworms, it smells like honey. It's not just that you give the quail something good, you actually do something good for yourself, because quail poop a lot. So that can, get smelly. But this has an awesome smell of honey. Don't know why, there's no honey in there. It's the mealworms. So, they come in a pack of 2. Nice little enrichment. Lasts you a while for a couple of birds. Great product we make here on the farm as well. Of course, we do that separate from our birds for biosecurity reasons and all that. And I know Hazel is already getting so excited, because soon comes now the pet section. But to round it up, so you start with our quail eggs. You get the incubator first. Little Giant, as mentioned, is a great brand, right? Maybe you already get some food as well. You need some bedding if you make a brooder box. Puppy pads are good for that. Or natural straw or pine shavings are good too. And you need a heating source, so the best is a heating plate. And then you're ready. You have your incubator, you get the eggs from us. You have your brooding box ready. What you need then after 16 to 20 days, whenever they hatch, right? Not all of your eggs will hatch, that's natural. The shipping, the rattling in the shipping can do some damage. We cannot guarantee that every single egg is fertile, because the only way to test that is to hatch it. We don't have the machinery, the expensive equipment to test every single egg. The big companies do that. With Big Chicken does that, but small farms like us in our network, we don't have that. But we test the fertility by hatching on our farm. We have our incubators are running 24/7, pretty much all year, so we know that the eggs are good. If we are not comfortable selling them in regards to the hatch rates, what we get on our farm or what we hear back from our customers, we have so many other use cases for those eggs. So we have many different flocks in our network. We have now 14 farms across 10 different states. So if we have a flock where we don't have a rooster with them, if we don't have a high fertility in our own hatch, then we make some other great products, which I'm going to show you now. You see already one here in the picture, over here, the shaker. We freeze-dry the quail eggs and so on. So we make sure we send you really great quality hatching eggs so that you gonna achieve the best results. And I hear it all the time back. We have a hatch rate report where customers report back, and I have newcomers who have an awesome hatch rate straight away, but it also happened that sometimes you did something wrong, the temperature was not right, shipping was too rough, and then you get a 0 hatch rate. It can happen. It's nature, and it works. Now I need my assistant Hazel. Now we talk about all the good stuff what quail bring to the table. Here on the farm, quail have a happy life and one bad day. Quail do not live forever. In captivity, they live for up to 4 years. I would say on average 2 years. On a farm, maybe less than that, especially if you're a rooster. And in nature, quail do not get that old. But the cool thing about them, right, they start laying eggs when they are 6 weeks old. If you get chicken eggs and hatch out chickens until they start laying eggs, you can wait 6 months. 6 months or 6 weeks. How long you want to wait for your eggs, right? Now, if you have no time for hatching quail, you can still enjoy the great products. Before I go to the pet section, let me show a little bit the news sections, what we did on our quail farm this past week. Honestly, I was working a lot on our website and on our online store. And then we went to a farmer's market. Let's see what we did there. Okay, here are the pictures and the news report of this week. Let's scroll down a little. Okay, so as I mentioned, my wife and I, we went to the farmer's market. That's a great place where we can sell our eggs, our quail products, and just promote a little bit what we do. So we do that every once in a while, but most of it what we do is online, honestly. Now, I was feeding the mealworms. They got some fresh salad and some pumpkin. Mealworms, you saw earlier on the product we make out of them. The quails are happy, our mealworms are happy. So they get great produce, and you can see here, if I have a bit of food waste from the quail, that goes not to waste, that goes to my mealworms. They love to eat that. Hazel, can you come? I need you now. Employees nowadays. First she's there, then she's not there. Ay, ay, ay. Speaking of Hazel, yeah, so that's her sleeping. She is a lovely dog, but she inspired a lot of our products, and I'm gonna show you some. For example, the Quail Crunch Bites. There's actually Hazel's portrait on it. Hazel was sleeping the other day again. I had to take a picture. She's so cute. Every once in a while we cuddle when we don't work together. And what else we did? Yeah, we made some pumpkins, my wife and my kids. We are a bit ahead of Halloween. We love Halloween in this household. I don't know about you guys, but here it's like a celebration. And of course I made another batch of quail noodles, which you just saw earlier on. They sell really well. And we went to the cinema. Yeah, we went during the daytime. Kids were not in school, and the kids thought I won the lottery because there was nobody else in that at the movies there. And I told them if I win the lottery there will be signs, and they thought that's one of those signs. But no, I didn't win the jackpot, and that's okay. Yeah, there's not that many news this week as mentioned, but I didn't wanna pass out on showing a few little thingies. Now, Hazel, if you could be so kind, we need you here. We do have quail eggs for pets. Hazel gets now one with dinner. And we have other great products, as I just showed. Hazel's Crunch Bites. Now let's see if Hazel is willing to grace us with her presence. Otherwise, this section's gonna become interesting without having our chief treat tester here. Hazel, honey, want a treat? Come here, honey. Is she coming? She went from that bed to that bed. Hazel, treat? I guess Hazel disappeared on me. Well, it's a live show. I wanna have a helper, hopefully helping me to get Hazel back where she belongs. To me. At least now. And then we're gonna test some of those products. But she might just, I think she heard her mommy upstairs and she wanted to check on her mommy. Yes, she's a family member. We treat her like a child. Do you do that with your pet as well? Let me know in the comments. And that's how it started, right? I wanted to make pet treats for my little Hazel Dazzle. She's a 3-year-old Labradoodle, as you can tell by the picture. I wanted to make natural quail treats for my dog. And since I make so many, your pet can benefit from that as well. And you can follow our page, by the way, because we run specials every once in a while for our followers. So don't forget about that. And excuse me for 1 second, but I'm gonna get Hazel to work now. Hazel! Ay, ay, ay. Come here. Hazel, bei Fuß. Come here, Poo Poo. I need you now. Come. Have a treat. Come. Yeah. Why are you not working? Yeah. You're a good girl. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's waiting for you. You come. Don't I pay you enough? Ay, ay, ay. Hazel. Come here, baby. Ay, ay, ay. I think I don't pay her enough. Must be the reason. So, Hazel, let's demonstrate your treats. Come on now. So, Hazel, sit. At least now you listen, huh? Good girl. Yeah, we have to adjust the camera that we see your pretty face. Yeah, you get a treat despite that you didn't come. Oh, boy. Now, give me paw. Good girl. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so let's see if we hear the crunch. Hazel, stay here. Sit. Good girl. I need a... We have all sizes in here. And paw. Good girl. They are nice and crunchy. Maybe hard to hear. And Hazel seems to be hungry. Let's give her a crunch stick. That's another product we make here on the farm. The crunch stick is from the spine of the quail. The good thing is quail bones are different than chicken bones. They don't splinter. The are tasty treats. And we want to use every single part of these birds because we raise them humanely. I talk to them every day. And in small batch, we make these products for you, so it's not like an industrial kind of thing. Every quail has a great life here, but at their end, they give great products for and make great treats for your pets, right? So the crunch stick, as you can hear, it is crunchy. It's the spine. Hazel loves it, right? Hazel, turn around. You need to do another trick for this big treat. Paw, yeah. There you go. Mmm. Nice and crunchy. One more. I'll give you a big piece. Paw. So as you can tell, sorry, I got thirsty a bit. As you can tell, the crunch stick is a bit more for bigger breeds, right? Because it's crunchy. If you have an older dog, or if you're watching and you have a cat, Hazel, we are not done yet. She's disappearing on me again. Ah, well, employees nowadays. If you have a smaller dog or a cat, I show you something great for them as well. If they can't eat something too crunchy, right? Now, I mentioned early on, we are not shipping eggs out older than 48 hours as hatching eggs because we want that they're extra fresh, and for fresh eggs, for eating eggs, it's not older than 72 hours. Hazel, want to show them your food topper. So what we make with all the extra eggs? Well, number one, we hatch ourselves, right? I've actually hatched eggs which were 14 days old, no problem here on the farm, but they also didn't go through the stress of shipping. Actually, once I hatched eggs, I sent them to the customer. The customer gave me wrong address. They came back. So they went from here, the East Coast, to the West Coast and back. And after 10 days, I hatched them, and I still had a great hatch rate. But, you know. Anyway, we don't ship old eggs, but we want to preserve their freshness when we don't ship, especially in the summertime when we ship less eggs. And so we make this food topper. It comes here with two openings. The generous one and the little sprinkle one. And food topper, you get the idea. You use it as a topper for your dog's food, or your cat, or your ferret, for example. That's yummy, isn't it, Hazel? So in one of those shakers is an entire carton of quail eggs. So it also lasts you long. I saw in some of the reviews we got, customers say they last 4 months because you only sprinkle a little on top. And why did I do that? I mentioned earlier on, Hazel gets fresh quail eggs, but we like to go camping. I don't like to take too many eggs when we go camping, especially if we go like backpacking or anything like that. And she just needs her extra vitamins and enrichments, and I think her fur got so much nicer ever since I give her quail eggs. So that's how I kind of started. She became a picky eater eventually, and so a little sprinkle of that motivated her to eat again. Then of course that happened then with neighbor dogs and so on, and this is how the product got developed. So we have here our Quailicious Boost. It's great for dogs, it's great for cats. Yeah, all it is freeze-dried quail eggs. We produce that here on our farms. It helps us as farmers that we don't have to throw away the eggs. It helps you as a consumer and your pet to get extra vitamins and minerals into the food of your pets. So a great product, and as you can tell, Hazel, she loves it, and she already gets it for such a long time, but you're not over it yet, and she sees the next treat. So this one was inspired by my sister-in-law. I mentioned early on, we have the crunchy stuff. My sister-in-law, she has older cats and they don't have the best teeth anymore. So she said, quail meat is awesome. A lot of nutrition in there as well. They're very nutrient dense. They are gamey, so they're great for cats and dogs, for us, right? But her cats don't have the best teeth anymore. They can't eat the crunchy stuff. So here we go. We made the pet cotton candy. We named it like that because we fluff up the meat from the dehydrated meat from the quail, and it looks then a little bit like cotton candy, fluffy texture, and you can use it also as a food topper, or you form a little ball with your fingers. And let's see what Hazel tells us. Is that okay? Good quality? Can we send it like this to the customer, Hazel? Paw first. Good girl. Yes. Great quality, right? Yeah. Well, you have to say yes. And yes, I cleaned the floor before, and Hazel has fresh water also nearby, so she can walk over there if she gets thirsty during this little treat session here, right? Speaking of treats, now bigger treats, and trick-or-treating is coming soon as well. Hazel usually goes as a hot dog at Halloween. I'm definitely gonna make sure maybe you're gonna put on your costume at Halloween here on the show. So don't forget to follow us if you want to see Hazel in her Halloween costume. She's the cutest thing in the world. But bigger treats and bigger birds sometimes you need for bigger treats. So let's see. Together with E&N Quail Farm in upstate New York, we bring to you the duck hearts. Quail hearts are great treats too, but they are so tiny. We use everything of the birds, and we do that with the duck as well. And so those are made up in New York State, and that's a duck heart. It's a nice freeze-dried crunchy treat as well. Hazel gets super excited here. Yes, because this is a newer product in our store, and you only get it once a week during our live show, right? Yeah, so turn around and sit and paw. Good girl. There you go, honey. Yeah, it's a bigger treat that takes a little more work, right? Yeah. You broke it in 2 pieces. Okay. Yeah. Here you go, honey. It's gone. It's gone already. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, so, Hazel, that's it for today for your treats, because you came late. So, you can't expect much more. I say thank you, Hazel. You can go and lay back there, okay? And I'm gonna just tell the people again a quick recap of what we looked at today and where they can get hold of me in case they have questions. So number 1, of course, you can put messages here in the chat. You can also contact us on our Amazon store page. There is an option where you say ask a question. I mean, I guess you have done that on Amazon before. I don't need to explain that, right? So if you have any questions about our products, feel free to leave a comment there. And yeah, please leave us a like or follow. We are live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, now in the fall time. Yes, I'm sorry, there was a little sprinkle of the food topper, and of course Hazel is not leaving me without getting that. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great weekend and a good start into the new week. Thanks for watching the news of our quail farm today. Please stay tuned for updates. Thanks for being an existing customer, or thank you for becoming a new customer. And yeah, if you have questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. My name was Christian, or still Christian, and I'm with Undique. I wish you a good rest of your week. And yeah, don't forget, place your order now if you want to have fresh quail eggs for breakfast for this weekend. Have a good evening. Bye.